Good day, everybody. Hello. Hope you're doing well. We're going to get into lots of videos today. God, I want to say freezing me tits off. Look, new content, things to cover. We're going to do how the side quest works next video. So many things to go over. And of course, as per usual, finish work, have a nice dinner. And then it's like, oh, things are happening in game, or Kabam are kind of like, they're up to no good. Well, I don't really want to look at it. Act 4 and 5 Revive farming has been nerfed. I'm still experimenting with a few areas to let you know about Revive farming, or some new ideas about where to go to get what. That's going to come soon, but of course need to test some stuff out. However, though, this video is about good news. Well, good news in several things, right? Good news, of course, I think it's like the Luke Cage. Luke Cage is going to be buffed soon. I think we've got like a play test of that coming soon. Not this month, but I think it's next month. Don't know. I can't remember on the time frame of stuff. So, first of all, starting off with Iron Man. Iron Man receives no changes. He is absolutely fine. He is doing good. Which is good. I might sneeze in a second, we'll have to see. And they say that his revamped suit came with some potent upgrades aimed at upgrading his damage countering some of the more annoying mutant defenders, like Bishop. You can now bash the Bishop, which UK people will get that reference and think that's disgusting, of course. Out there, while also keeping the tools of the old suit in the Arc Overload and Armor Breaks. I was kind of like indifferent about Iron Man. I like the champion. I like a lot of changes. I like a lot of his countering of mutant champions. Of course, an option against Bishop, especially when it comes to certain content. The way that he's been, a great asset to certain different types of interactions. And of course, Kabam says so far we're happy with how he's performed across the Battlegrounds, especially as an efficient attacker on Path 6 of Alliance War. Interesting. So if you if you go in Path 6 and looking for a counter, Iron Man may be that particular champion. Yeah, for me, it's the Arc Overload and kind of like accidentally triggering that off. Because if you're like, oh, damn, I accidentally triggered it. It's like, well, no, you can't use it. It's like, and I think as well, isn't it like per quest as opposed to per fight? So that was another thing as well. That's probably the only thing I dislike about it. Apart from that, everything else is like, it's potent and fun enough. And, that means thumbs up. I'm happy with all that. But of course, there's good news. Good news because, look, it's something that is it been memed? Kind of. Like Gladiator not being the champion. A good champion. A fun champion. A hard-hitting champion. And of course, that's the real thing. A lot of people, I think, some people went into the Summoner's Choice 2023, I think it was, with the idea that maybe... what was it? He would be Gladiator 2. I don't know why people I don't know if Kabam were kind of labeling it as like that's what people wanted to see, and that wasn't the case. I mean, for me, it was the case. I liked the character prior to the addition in game. I like where the character comes from like his strength is built from his charisma and the kind of like aspect of like what mental health is and how that's kind of like a big kind of like trigger point for the character's effectiveness. And did we see that particularly in game? No. And look, even if Kabam kind of admit to it, which they kind of admit to it in this little statement here, it's kind of seen. So as Kabam say, as a Summoner's Choice champion, many people were excited to see Gladiator join the contest. He was geared towards being fun and effective attacker with a couple of defensive tricks if you block those pesky SP2s. After reviewing his performance since release, we've seen that Gladiator has come up short on those goals. This means that Gladiator will go through the rebalance process. The goal of this rebalance is to increase his damage floor with an easier and more consistent ramp. That is good. That is very good. I'm happy to hear that. And allow him to live at his damage ceiling longer once he's ramped. So that's, again, is really kind of like positive news. And of course, that this is how it breaks down. Gladiator tune-up, his timeline will look like February February in the 43rd update, and then a beta build in March of this year to be released in April. So you've got to wait. a further 3 months until the champion has been ramped up and improved. So there we go. That kind of like gives you a bit of an idea of this situation around Gladiator. He is indeed getting a buff, and I think that is going to be very much welcomed, because again, you see this on the forums so many times now. Like, people are just what's the word, memeing. I'd say memeing on Gladiator as a character, well, I say as a champion, not as a character, because there's two distinctions between what a character is and what a champion is. Character would be what Marvel look to kind of like what we see within the Marvel universe, whether it's the comic book side of things, cinematic universe, and what is delivered in game as a champion. Because do bear in mind, Dormammu should be an incredibly powerful character, and within game is not at all. So that's kind of like discerning those two discernible factors between those things. So yeah, as I said, like, that was always the thing for me. I didn't want to see Hercules in the game. I wanted a Mega Sentinel. I'm happy with the Omega Sentinel champion. Of course, you know, I'm happy with Hercules as a champion. But when it came to the fact of Gladiator coming into game, I liked the character the same way I liked the Mega Sentinel as a character. I wanted to see it as a champion, and you know, same thing with Gladiator. I like the character. I like the MO. Is that the word? The mantra, the abilities, the structure for the character. But of course, what is delivered is not exactly there. And of course, ease of use is going to be an important factor into that. And I always think that Kabam should do Summoner's Choice-based champions as ease of use. Mainly because they throw it out to everybody. Like, I'm not saying Quicksilver is not an ease of use champion, but I would say if Kabam are going to do this, like Summoner's Choice, because they distribute them as 4 stars to everybody, because they did that with Quicksilver, they did it with Gladiator, they should make them very much ease of use. I'm sure there will be some people out there saying, no, you should have more of a kind of like a hard working process to ramp up the champion. But even if Kabam are saying like, hang on a minute, well, not quite sure about this, even by saying he was geared towards being fun and effective attacker with a couple of defensive tricks if you block those pesky SB2s. And even going to say that with an easier, more consistent ramp, Kabam see it. And of course, that's the problem. You extensively distribute a champion, you want everybody to have ease of use with using it. It's not, and you give everyone 4-star versions, so everyone's got to, you know, at least know what they're doing. But in any case, that is it for the video. Yeah, got some side quest stuff to go over. It is a pretty straightforward side quest. There's some, I'm putting together a guide of like targets if you want to go and defeat some, if you want to get some of the objectives easily. And I think that might be quite important if you're looking to, you know, get yourself some of these objectives done and dusted as soon as possible and enjoy the rest of the month. But yeah, it's whatever it is. Any case, thanks for watching. Check out some other content located on screen. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.